Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Moss coming to you with a little bit of spice today. Now, Saffron Olive recently posted a video of him playing modern 8 whack with Gleeful Demolition in the main board. This card is the new Coldrotha Rebirth, which is a Pauper All-Star, but doesn't really see a lot of constructed play elsewhere. But Gleeful Demolition has a lot of opportunity. So today, maybe we're a little bit lost in the sauce with this one, but I think that Gleeful Demolition actually does have a lot of potential. And it's really got potential, I believe, in the Pioneer format. Now, today, we're going to try it out in Explorer in Best of One, because ideally this is probably one of the best decks to like rank up with. All right, Gleeful Demolition makes 3/1/1s. You've got Foundry Street Denizen that gets pumped for each red creature that enters the battlefield during that turn. You've got Swifty. Taylor's always going to do good work. You've got Voldaren Epicure that makes a blood token that you can sack to your Gleeful Demolition. You've got Ornithopter that you can sack to your Gleeful Demolition. You've got Synthesizer that you can get a lot of cards out of, so you're basically doing another impression of Light Up the Stage, and you can sack it to Gleeful Demolition. Everything in this deck centers around this card right here, and its crazy synergy with Cavalcade of Calamity. Now, back when Arena got started, this was one of my favorite decks to play. Mono red Calamity with just the little beaters all over the place. Honestly, this deck really does take pretty good advantage of that same shell. Again, lots of little 1/1 dudes all over the place. You got a couple 1/2s, or unfortunately, the 2/2 here. But almost everything in the deck triggers Cavalcade. So you're just beating in for lots of damage before you actually even strike a single point of combat damage at your opponent. So, absolute fire right here. Ambitious Assault. This is a little bit of a weird concession. I'll admit, this is probably the ideal deck for someone to start with if they just have a new Arena account. Lots of commons and uncommons throughout the deck. Realistically, the only rares that we have in this deck are Den of the Bugbear, Castle Embereth, and Soken Zone. And these are just here because I feel like they do kind of give you some extra stuff to do if you wind up in the mid game. Honestly, this deck, in my opinion, is probably going to struggle a lot against any of the life gain decks on the best of one ladder. They're probably going to struggle if the game goes on any length of time. But Ambitious Assault is going to give us an extra means by which we can push some extra aggression forward. Alright? Gives our creatures +2/+0, so after the Cavalcade trigger, we throw out Ambitious Assault and hit through for extra damage. It's pretty fire. And if we control a modified creature, we get to draw a card. Unfortunately, the only thing that's letting us get a modified creature is Kumano Faces Kakazan, but honestly, between Experimental Synthesizer, between Light Up the Stage, between the two measly blood tokens we're making here, I think we're going to be fine as far as card draw goes, and I definitely don't see this game going on very long. Play with Fire is there to kind of round things out, either get rid of some potential blockers, or we can scry on our upkeep or our opponent's end step to hopefully get rid of any garbage that's on top of our deck. 19 lands because, again, this deck basically just has a curve that stops at 2. So, overall, deck to me looks solid, but let's see how it does on the ladder. See you guys in match number 1. All right, we are in match number 1, and we are going to be on the play. So this hand is a little slow. Swift Spear Synthesizer. There's a little bit of a non-bow with that prowess trigger here, but I think we can keep it just knowing that we're going to draw a bunch of cards off the top with this. All right, going to start with a mountain, Swifty, ping, and go. All right, opponent is playing mill. Of all the things for us to run against on the ladder, it has to be mill. All right. Well, let's swing. Let's see if our opponent blocks. Chances are with this, looks like they didn't. All right. So time to go ahead and play Kumano. Yeah, we did miss out on an extra point of damage, but had to see if we could get a little bit of the bait out with that play with fire. All right, opponent mills us for a little bit. Again, it's mono blue so far, so can't really say too much that's negative about this. Worst our opponent's going to do is, maybe bounce our Swift Spear back to our hand. Ooh, instead they do Founding of the Third Path. All right, you're just going to run it on chapter 1. Okay, so now we are in a very interesting position. Let's go ahead and start with a Gleeful Demolition on the Experimental Synthesizer. Ooh, and we get a Soakins on. Unfortunately, not a whole lot for us to do here beyond this. So swing in, see if they block. Are they going to keep the block? Opponent's really thinking it over. They're looking at our 3 creatures right there. All right, so go face. We get to scry. We get to kill the Ruin Crab. And we'll put that Raminop Ruins on the bottom. And pass to our opponent. All right, they're probably going to make us mill 4. They're really going to go for the deck damage here. And if they play something like See the Truth, then probably really good. All right, they get rid of our Ambitious Assault. Definitely doesn't feel great, but could be worse, all things considered. Maddening Cacophony gets rid of a lot of air. So many lands off the top of our deck. Couple Voldaren Epicures, both of the ones that we run. There's nothing else that they can do, though. So I think we're just going to go Ornithopter and Cavalcade, and then make a pretty big swing. We got 4, 10 here alone on this swing. 3 triggers, 3 damage, and then the 4 coming off of our 2/2s, or our 2/2 and 2/3. Opponent's pretty dead, and unless they can deal 33 deck damage in a single turn, I don't think we have to worry too much. I say that, and now that I'm actually thinking about it, if they played anything like Tasha's Hideous Laughter, we're probably in a bad spot. Holy cow. We barely got there. All right, let's go. See you guys in match number 2. All right, we are in match number 2, and we're going to be on the play. So we do have the Gleeful Demolition, which is pretty rad, but we don't have an artifact for it. And we're playing against a Yorion deck. I'm tempted to ship this one back, but having the Cavalcade really does make me question about whether or not we should. Plus the fact that we can potentially just go in for 4 damage next turn kind of makes his hand seem worth it. And opponent scoops it up? Question mark? We take those. Okay. See you guys on the next one. All right, match number 3. And this hand is almost an instant mulligan. If either of these synthesizers were a Gleeful Demolition, this would definitely be a different story. But we're gonna mull it. Okay, this hand's a little bit worse, honestly, but I think it's a little bit more keepable. Opponent plays a mountain. They play their own Kamano. Alright, so we got a mono red gamer just like us. Alright, let's go land Ornithopter. Put a little bit of confusion in our opponent. Now the big question is next turn, do we want to go for the Cavalcade or do we want to go for, well, really not a whole lot we can do. I think we gotta take this one. As tempting as it is, I think we do have to take that little bit of damage. We're going to launch our own, and I think we gotta put the play with fire to the bottom. And we just gotta play the Cavalcade. Oh man. Brutal. So opponent's gonna ding us for another 4 damage next turn, which feels rough. Oh no, it's even more than that. They're dinging us for 6. Man, this feels bad. Yeah, I think we met our match with this one. Okay, only Gleeful Demolition really worked at instant speed. I would feel maybe a little bit better about this, but I think this game is pretty over for us. Cast this for its spectacle cost. I mean, we'll play our own Kumano after we cast that Gleeful Demolition. Now, the thing is, if our opponent can't kill us here, we might be able to get almost enough damage on the backswing, which is kind of crazy. Alright, so we've got 6, 7. If opponents got it, they got it. Yep, they got the cleave. Alright, that's a GG. Alright, see you guys in the next one. Womp womp. Alright, match number 4. Okay, we're going to be on the play against a Gigantha deck. You know what? This hand's super keepable. While we may not have an artifact in hand, having Cavalcade probably going to do some wonders for us. The moment that we get an artifact, though, this hand's going to pop off. Go for Swifty. Then we will cast Play with Fire, targeting our opponent's face. Synthesizer off the top is exactly what we want. So we're going to swing for 4 here. And then next turn we get to swing for an even bigger amount. Jeskai is interesting. Alright, opponent is basically F6ing. Alright, yeah, we're dropping a Cavalcade, which definitely don't feel great, but could certainly be worse. We get a lot of pumps going. Oh man, getting rid of another Gleeful Demolition feels bad. Ooh, opponent's playing 4 colors. Oh, that one sucks. Holy cow. Yeah, Deafening Clarion definitely blew us out. And then they play Omnath. Excuse me? Alright, well, we're just gonna crack the synthesizer here. We are probably not in a great spot right now, because if they gain any amount of life next turn, we are in for a hurtin'. Now, hopefully they just swing and we will not block in the slightest. Hopefully they don't have another Wrath. Okay, opponent doesn't even block. Alright, let's cycle with this blood token. Okay. Oh, opponent, you are evil. Yeah, we gotta swing in with everything. This game has become nigh winnable for us now. But that's honestly the risk that we kind of run with a red deck in best of one. Like, a lot of this is just gonna seem like a beating for us. Thankfully, this light up the stage is actually proven kind of useful. So, if we manage to get kind of anything going from this point, like if we get a Monastery Swift Spear, we're not going to feel like we're in too bad a spot. Are they just basically playing the Bring to Light Niv deck? Or I guess this format's equivalent of it? I am so confused by what this deck is doing. Beyond just, destroying our entire game plan by gaining life. Um, I mean, we kind of have to just run it out, like get all the triggers that we can and just kind of deal with the situation. Unfortunately, the more life our opponent gains, the less likely we are to win. And the fact that our opponent's about to play the Scarab God just completely takes this game out of our hands. Like, there is nothing that we're doing here that is gonna impact the board in any meaningful way. We could have had him. If that Deafening Clarion was not there, we could have had this game. Yeah, we'll let that go. Yep, that game got away from us. GG, opponent. See you guys in the next one. All right, our next match. This hand is kind of garbage. Despite the fact that we do have a lot of interaction here, Gleeful Demolition with nothing to use it on doesn't feel good. So we're going to mulligan. Okay, this hand is significantly better. I think we will keep this, and we're just going to go ahead and bottom the Play with Fire, because we really want to be able to just do more with the top of our deck. Opponent is playing white shenanigans. Alright. Synthesizer gets a Play with Fire. I think we are just going to go ahead and cast the Gleeful Demolition, get a lot of power here with our Foundry Street Denizen. Get another Foundry Street Denizen, though. Losing 2 cards, definitely not the greatest situation. It's Angels. Yikes. Okay. This game is going to be kind of uphill for us. Again, any amount of life gain doesn't feel good for us. Now, thankfully, we can spectacle this and hopefully get some good stuff here. Ambitious Assault is definitely a start. Depending on what our opponent plays here, really going to determine if we lose or not. They play a Tap Temple Garden and a Giada. Not the worst, but gaining 4. Definitely pushing this away from us. Alright, so our opponent is just going to block with Giada, block with the Bishop. I mean, we're gonna pump everything, but we're gonna see some trades happening. They get a Spirit. This is the problem with this deck. It does gas out really quickly. Yeah, there's the Righteous Valkyrie. Yep. And I mean, just like we thought, any amount of life gain is really going to take this away from us. Alright, so we're just going to go ahead and give them the concession. GG opponent. See you guys in the next one. Alright, so let's see. Is this hand keepable when we are on the draw? Honestly, it kind of is. So I think we can actually go Den, Kumano, Epicure, and Demolition. Yeah, no, this hand's super good. Well, it was good in the blind. But we are facing down Rakdos, which is kind of surprising that we're seeing it in best of one. It does super well in best of three. And this hand went down the toilet real quick. Alright, let's go ahead and, well, didn't put the upkeep stop there in time. Alright, we're just going to go ahead and pass to our opponent. Put the stop on their end step. And boom. We're going to play with fire. You know, that would be good, but it's not going to get through their Fabled token. We need more, honestly. And I don't know if more is really going to be coming our way. Alright, so pass to our opponent after swinging. We're getting real close. We can do something with this hand, but it's questionable what we can do. Opponent swings with their Goblin Shaman. Looking over their hand, they play Sheoldred. Yep, it's starting to look just a little bit iffy. They cast another Thoughtseize, take our Gleeful Demolition. Alright, we have a Synthesizer, so maybe there's something here. Man, that Demolition would have been real good right about now. Honestly, we'll go ahead and cast this light up the stage. And we hit 2 more lands. Gaining the life is gonna give our opponent just a little bit of an advantage. And they are just a hair shy of casting Croxa from the yard. Not really looking good for us. Okay, Gleeful Demolition can possibly swing this back in our favor. Let's see, though. We'll go ahead and cast the Demolition, targeting the Synthesizer. Synthesizer trigger. We're gonna play the Castle Embereth, play the Foundry Street Denizen, and we're gonna swing. Opponent might want to block. They push one of our etchings. They draw a card, lose 2 life, gain 2 life. I mean, if they block, they could have played Croxa. Alright, we're going to sacrifice a non-token creature, and we're going to get rid of that Etchings of Kumano. They're going to be able to cast Croxa and take another 3 off of us. Not really quite sure how we're going to get out of this at this point. So we block, take 2. Yeah, I think we're dead actually. Go down to 1. Yep, that does it. GG, opponent. See you guys in the next one. All right, so we are going to be on the draw here. This hand is really kind of weak. There are some things that it can do. If we could peel a Gleeful Demolition off the top, this hand becomes incredible. Having a Den of the Bugbear does feel kind of okay. But I think we are going to need to mulligan this hand. But we also need our opponent to figure out if they're going to mulligan too. Alright, we're going to keep this hand. We're going to try it. Ooh, another Rakdos deck. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and cast both of our Ornithopters, cast our Foundry Street Denizen, and pass. We're going to put a stop on our upkeep. And let's see what we can do here. Can we make our opponent just a little sad? We would definitely be sad if we drew that. Alright, let's see what we got. Mountain off the top. Not great. Not great for us at all. We're just going to swing with the Foundry Street Denizen, see if the trade seems good. Fable of the Mirror Breaker, doing its thing. And say go. So, yeah, this is the position that we wind up in. We either have it all or we just peter out. And it looks like we're in that latter category right now. Alright, experimental synthesizer can give us something. Alright, trigger Cavalcade. Okay, Cavalcade's not a bad start for us here. Now, chances are we're only going to attack with the 2 Ornithopters. It's fine if they push the Foundry Street Denizen. We're going to be taking 4, but we're going to be making them take 2. As far as that race goes, we're really not doing super well. We do get to swing with the Den of the Bugbear, though, next turn if they don't really do anything. But it's Rakdos. They're going to do something. And they stomp our Ornithopter. Alright. I think we're going to start with another synthesizer. Trigger. Play with Fire is not bad here. I think we have to kill the Reflection. That's the only reasonable thing for us to do here. And then we will say go. We don't necessarily want to pop the synthesizer itself. We really want to save it to take with Gleeful Demolition. But opponent gets another Reflection. We're just going to block the Bone Crusher and take 4 down to 10. Opponent plays land. They play a third Fable. Wow. Alright, cool. So this is a little bit of a beating. Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Okay, so opponent's going to be able to make a copy of their Bone Crusher, and they're going to swing in for lethal, and Sheoldred's Edict makes this a GG. Oof. See you guys in the next one. All right, we're going to be on the play, and this hand is lit. All right, so we're going to get to swing for 6 next turn with this hand. We're going to start, hopefully, by going Ornithopter into Gleeful, into hopefully none of our goblins being interacted with. But this is a Gigantha deck, so it's a complete possibility. Opponent plays a tri-land tapped and says go. Alright, so chances are they're an Omnath deck, but this is a pretty huge start for us. Now, next turn, our sequencing is going to matter a lot. Well, opponent said that they are done with this. Alright, cool. See you guys in the next one. Alright, let's see. We are going to be on the draw, and this hand is garbage. This hand is also garbage. But we do have a lot more potential. We're going to try it. Opponent starts with a tap land. It says go. We're going to start with a Kumano and just punch ourselves in the face a little bit. Chances are our opponent really liked what Reed Duke was doing in the Pro Tour. Yeah, I think that's exactly what they're doing here. Though, see, the truth is a nice little bit of spice. They could be trying to do red-blue weird things. Not drawing a land off the top really sucks, and not seeing an artifact also kind of bites. Hopefully our opponent lets our Swifty live, and that way we can possibly get this going. Ooh, opponent cast an Arcane Proxy. They are doing value things. Though this does also likely mean that they're going to try and blink some stuff. Alright, so opponent's really gonna go for this. Alright, they're gonna let us get through for a couple little bits of damage. Yeah, we're casting a end of the turn, light up the stage, cast an Ornithopter, and not doing a whole lot else. If we could get a land off the top, then we're going to feel a lot better about this. All the damage we're dealing is to ourselves. For now. Alright, let's go ahead and Kumano. And let's see what we can do with Demolition. This is going to feel absolutely terrible if our opponent does something like, say, cast a Deafening Clarion against us, or, God forbid, any other number of counter spells, or Prismari Command. Also abysmal. Opponent could just be doing like artifact creativity, or maybe they're just going to combo kill us. There's a lot of questions that I have currently. Let's start by doing this. So play another Kumano. Let's swing. Opponent is gonna maybe block. We are right at the edge of victory here. But I think our opponent's going to try to combo kill us this turn. There's nothing for them to take, though. Ooh, cast a non-creature. Wait a second. And they Valdrocked onto Valdrock? Interesting. Okay, so this is just kind of a value thing. And even more value. I have a whole lot of questions about what our opponent's doing. And I don't necessarily hate it. Alright, let's see what opponent does here. Okay. Hoping that they would have messed up, but doesn't look like they are. Man, that seems so weird that they can mutate a legend onto a legend and it not legend itself. Huh. Opponent's really going off here. Maybe they're just gonna Thassa's Oracle themselves? Maybe they're just gonna spin their wheels and die? Let's just see. So opponent is doing a very combo-y thing. So we're just gonna go ahead and concede. See you guys in the next one. Alright. We are in this match and we're probably actually gonna keep this hand. We can do a whole lot with this start here as long as our opponent doesn't do anything too crazy here. Start off with double Ornithopter and Swifty and swing. Doubt they're going to trade. In this situation, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense for them to trade. Alright, so opponent takes the 1 and passes. Or rather, they take it and go. Alright, yeah, no, we have no problem taking the 3 here. Because we're about to swing for a big chunk this turn. Alright. We got our 2 in the air off of our Ornithopters and 2 on the ground because of Swifty. Next turn, as long as they don't play Thalia, Brutal Cathar hurts a little bit. And they probably are, yep, they're putting Brutal Cathar out of range of our spells. Yeah, this one's getting further and further away. If we draw a land off the top, we're actually going to feel kind of okay about the position we're in. As long as they don't play a Thalia, that is. Again, they're mono white humans. They can be doing a whole lot. Extraction Specialist is that whole lot that they could be doing. Hot dog, is that a whole lot they are doing? I really don't think we're gonna win from this position. Yeah, I think we just gotta pass here and hope that our opponent doesn't really do anything. Admittedly, them flipping this into a Moonrage Brute really bites. And that's not a lot better. Alright, well, everybody gets pumped up, and there's another aspirant. We're probably dead. And the fact that they're about to gain all this life off of the extraction specialist definitely means that we are probably dying here. Let's just go ahead and double block and take the 4. Yep. we are super dead. Good game, opponent. All right, I'll see you guys in the wrap up. So, Whackless Whack for Explorer. Overall, the deck could be a little bit better. We kind of broke even across the board. In the games where we won, it was decided real quick and very early on. And those games where we lost, it's generally because of the life gain. Honestly, the shell of this deck is fairly solid. Like Ornithopter, Synthesizer, and all of the different little interactions with Gleeful Demolition, either getting you extra cards here or putting potentially 4 bodies on the board on turn 1 into a nice turn 2 Cavalcade. Really good. I do think that the Ambitious Assaults could be probably a different card. Truth be told, that's one of the biggest problems with Explorer is the fact that because we don't have access to the full card pool, we really do lose out on a lot of really good cards. This deck could be running something like the Reckless Bushwhacker from Battle for Zendikar, or maybe even we kind of abandon the mono red plan and maybe lean into a more green red shell and almost do the, a Tarka red thing. Might be another good iteration for us to try, but that's gonna be it for us today. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you guys next time.